my goodness. Actually, it's something that is happening everywhere, something that is going on in our country. That is the Gen Z era. My goodness, the Gen Z are doing magic out there. But kuna zingine nzuri, kuna zingine mbaya. But you want to understand how can we make what the Gen Zs are doing out there bring a positive impact. Hata kama itakuwa na ka negative, wacha tuseme negative ikue, wacha tuseme ikue 1%. But guys, I don't know what's your thought on that when it comes to what the Gen Z are doing out there. That is the mandamano, that is using social media platforms, that is the way they are approaching their government. You know, it feels like social media ime change now. It is a place to get to criticize the government. So I don't know what you take on that. I don't know what's your thought on that. Do you think the Gen Z should be stopped on what they're doing when it comes to expressing themselves? They should be educated on having a civilized talk, or having a good way on let me say the tips on how they can address things that is the things that are affecting them negatively. That's why today we are having an amazing guest. Oh my god, he is passionate about the young people. So as a young person hapo nje, make sure that maybe you have questions. I don't know, maybe there's something that you want to ask Bonga na Sisi on 0799200100. Naturally sema, this is where tuna unleash the ubayas. Guys, maybe mko na ubayas na mimi. No. Make sure that we have as an amazing guest. Get to ask maswali kwake. That is Pastor Ken. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
We're so glad that umefika hapa studioni.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I believe you're doing well.
I'm doing well. I'm good, and it's an honor to have me here, to be able to be here. Yes.
Let me ask, you're passionate about the young people.
Yes.
What makes, especially the Gen Zs? Let me call them the Gen Zs.
Yes.
What makes you so passionate about these people? The same people wanaenda mandamano, you know, the same people wanarushiwa tear gas. They still they wake up the same morning kwenda mandamano. What makes you still, you know, tell yourself, still passionate about these people, still passionate of talking to the young people?
Well, Gen Zs generally, they are, as I have mentioned before, they are exposed. They are well educated. Sometimes they probe questions or wanauliza maswali kwa mambo ambayo tayari wanajua. They just want a confirmation. Because myself, I have Gen Zs in the house. I interact with them. What is bringing up all these things is just that they are feeling frustrated. They feel they want to be heard. People take it for granted that they know nothing. But they are exposed, because when you see the things that they are doing, they shook the nation a few months back, and they're still doing it through what they are doing. So what I can say, the best thing is for just give them a voice for them to be heard, because at the end of the day, they are not children. They are youth. They are mature enough to know what they are doing. So they just need to be given a voice to be heard, so that they can express themselves. It will reduce a lot of the things that are taking place around, because at the end of the day, I think over 70% of the population is Gen Zs.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, whether they're being ignored or not, they have a place in society, because they are our brothers, they are our sisters, they are our children. So at the end of the day, they should be given at least a chance to express themselves, to reduce a lot of all these.
But let me ask you, you say that you have the Gen Zs in the house, yeah?
Yes.
And let me ask you, what is sayuletewe Gen Z hapa na millennial? Yes, they'll be given the same task to do the same thing. What are the defining characteristics of a Gen Z? What makes you, or your personal opinion when you can let them to know, you know, this is a Gen Z?
Well, people assume that they are not experienced, because ukiangalia like the job market, especially these government jobs, wale watu ambao tayari they have, how do I put it, they have already worked, wamemaliza all their term, wameretire, wamepewa even pension, they're still being recycled. Gen Zs are not being given a chance to. I think you saw it a few months back when the government was, there were some people who are hiring people to go and work abroad. You saw the turnout in Nairobi, the way it was built. Tuonyesha kwamba the job market already has no place for, they're not being given. At the same time, school leavers are increasing every year.
Yeah, it's true.
The job market, unapata you are going for a course which at the end of the day unapata market tayari imejaa. So that's why some of them are even engaging in crime, not because that is what they intended to do. Like frustration at the end of the day can drive you to do things which you are not trying to do in the first place.
Talking of the technology, what is your take when it comes to, I believe we have come across social medias, umeona the Gen Zs wanna express, you know, we have TikTok, we have X, these ways they are expressing themselves. What's your take on technology, the way technology is reshaping the way their communication skills and their relationship with people and even the government itself?
Well, technology is true has reshaped society, because now when you air anything on social media, it is seen by people all over the world.
True.
Social media is, at the end of the day, is what enabled the youth to mobilize and to demonstrate or do whatever they do everywhere here and there. So they are exposed. That is what has helped to... Technology, in fact, has made the world a small place. They call it a small, or it's like a village now, whereby everything is there at the touch of a button. So at the same time, technology can be of good use, but it can be abused depending on the users. But technology has made it easier for people to be exposed and to be able to learn and to know things which would have even taken. So even if you want to research on something, people just go on Google and all that, and it has made things easier. So it's good. And it can be used well depending on the users, but it can also be abused in other ways which are at the same time which are not very good for people at the end of the day.
Talking of abusing, that is social media. I believe one of the Gen Zs, they are criticizing the government, but sometimes it feels like si kutaka wanataka. It's ile you know, wamekiwa tu mikakati tudogo and they're like, metukazia ni sawa, acha si hata tuonyeshe pia si tunajua. How can they make sure that this does not affect the people that they are? Because I believe Gen Zs, they are good people, right? How can they make sure that this does not affect them, especially social media? You as a young person umeka pale nje, you know, you're not planning kuandamana, but only because umeona social media watu wameplan kuandamana uko zile za pia mimi lazima niende. How can they make sure that this social media brings a positive impact, especially even to the way they are addressing the government itself?
Well, the best way, in my opinion, to go about it is like the way it was put a few days back. They were offered an opportunity to go and air their views with our president, because how do I put it? What they, you know, at the end of the day, whether they like it or not. Let me give an example with our own parents. If you have an issue with your parents, you don't abuse them.
Yeah, you don't.
Isn't it? Because at the end of the day, people who are in authority, they have what we call a spiritual authority or a spiritual mandate. People like presidents, those who are in authority, pastors, and even our parents. So whatever they say is what goes at the end of the day. So rebellion and all that, at the end of the day, in my opinion, doesn't help. They should find a way of airing their views or finding a way forward without because at the end of the day, a lot of people have disappeared, a lot of people are dead, some of them are now in hospital beds and all that. So finding a way of addressing those issues would be a better way, because at the end of the day, a Gen Z is not a child. You cannot, like for example, you are at your age, your parent cannot tell me lala chini nikuchape because you have done something. That is what I usually do with them. Let them also express themselves and say, at the end of the day, ni nini nakukula, what do you want, how do you give them a voice also to do or to air themselves, and I believe that is a better way than the other things that people do, which are about a bit counterproductive. Lakini
acha tuongelee story yenye umesema ya people being abducted. We've seen activists wanakuwa abducted. We've seen to yoyote, even mimi najua sahi tu, if I decide to speak out on what is happening, people are being abducted. So what are you suggesting the Gen Zs, apart from finding a way, because this thing is paining them, ni nini watafanya basi, because it seems like their voice is now being heard?
I think there are the right places, the right people to reach out to, even in the government. That is what I believe, because I think there's unless it was removed, I'm not so sure about. There's a department which used to deal with the youth issues some few years back. If they can engage with the right people to air the views. At the same time, if there is some things which I know, for example, if I claim or if I say that I'm frustrated about something, like they usually do, even if I come to have an issue, address the real issue. I cannot just say in general that I'm frustrated. What is really frustrating? Is it lack of jobs? Is it what is really biting you, or what is really giving you a problem? Address the issue at its center. That is unajua wengine pia, some of them wanaenda na ile msisimuko ya everybody is doing it, so I'm also doing it. But
sini kusupportiana ama it's not the support.
But at the end of the day, kusupportiana, there is what we call peer pressure.
It's a peer pressure. Guys, umesikia.
Peer pressure is also playing a role. That's why when you see when students go to school, wakisema to strike, they're all striking. Wengine wana join without even knowing what is going on.
But unajua kwa the Gen Z, it feels like it is unity, like they're supporting each other.
Yeah, supporting each other.
Yeah, they're supporting each other.
Yeah, supporting each other, yes. But let us support each other the right way.
The right way.
Yes. Because abusing those who are in authority, or that is at the end of the day, will not, in my opinion, it is not helping or solving anything. It is only hardening the hearts, or even making things even just worse. But
hardening the hearts of the government.
Yes, kitu kama hiyo, because at the end of the day, it is not solving. Because at the end of the day, if you put yourself in the shoes of the government, if for example you are a parent, you have an abusive child in the house, umemlea, umemsomesha, umemfanyia everything, you are doing those things for their own benefit, but at the end of the day, instead of appreciating anything, wanakuabuse, unaambiwa wewe mzae or whatever, hakuna kitu najua wewe nini, all those things. At the back of your mind, you will feel also, I need to do something about it. Yes.
But you know, when it comes to the young people, I believe before msee akae chini aseme like, unajua what, nafaa kwenda kuandamana, wasi wanaandamana, hata mimi acha niandamane. What could be the challenges, the biggest challenges that the Gen Zs could be facing? And mtu anakaa anasema, kama si peer pressure, apart from peer pressure, let me go and join them on the road. Maybe things might work out for me. What could be the biggest challenges that the Gen Zs are facing?
Well, if I'm not wrong, the majority of them don't have jobs. They are learned. They have gone to universities. They're looking for everywhere you go right now, unapata ma issues to do with corruption and all that. Unatafuta kazi, for example, unaambiwa utoe kitu, something like maybe 50 or 100k, and you are a job seeker.
You're a job seeker, unaitishwa dono, unaenda kusaka dono.
Unaambiwa if you want a job, we want somebody with an experience of 7 or 10 years. Where are you going to get that experience if you're not given an opportunity to learn, maybe even on job training? So at the end of the day, frustrations are everywhere, left, right, and center. And if they are not addressed, the way things are going, that is why that is another cause of all this. That's why unapata kwamba when it comes to elections, even for example, some of them are being given like 2k or 1k to go and drink and do care, and they are being used by these people like politicians.
The big people,
they are using them in a wrong way, because they are accepting these things not because they want, but they also feel, I also want to have a house, I need to pay house rent, I need to eat, I need to do other things that other people are doing. I am learned, but since I don't have anything to do and I don't have a job, I'm idle. People will use them in whatever way they feel like. So
msee tu anaona wacha tu niende nichukue 2k nisonge na maisha.
At the end of 2k either, but unapata wengine hiyo 2k hata iwasaidie, because unapata kwamba inatumiwa on drugs, alcohol and other things. At the end of the day, 2k itaisha, tomorrow you still want to eat, you don't have a job, and other things are pending. So at the end of the day, these things are really contributing to all these things that are happening around us.
Yeah, so do you think maybe there's a way this can be solved?
It can be solved, but it takes time.
It takes time.
But one thing, the Gen Z is also, patience is not one of them.
I want to chill.
They want instant results, like instant tea or instant coffee. Some things take time, like creating jobs, like it depends on the economy and the way things are going. So some things need patience, but at the same time, one thing that can help is going into the informal job sector like Juakali, because people are good with their hands. When you make use of their hand, not everyone was created to be in an office. That is what is happening right now.
Like mina nafikiria like unaona these politicians the way they do the campaign, so kwa zile za immediately nikiingia hata sitamaliza 1 month you get jobs. I think ni wao wanachangia what is happening, because you know me as a Gen Z nimeamka asubuhi, you know nimechukua mpaka ID yenye sikuwa nayo, go vote expecting that this person is going to give me a job. I know my life is going to change. Now they envision these people as game changers for their lives and their future. Then boom, things haziendi venye mulikuwa mmeplan. Definitely you will go for a maandamano.
One thing about politics, they say politics is a dirty game.
Is it true?
Politics, and it's true. Politics is like seduction, or when somebody is seducing for the sake of, even for those who are not serious. More or less the rules of engagement are the same. Nakwambia kiingia box kinikubali nitafanya hii, I will do this. Like the way they say I will bring you the moon and you know it's impossible. I will swim the deepest sea for you and you know it's impossible. And when you hear such words, you know politics at the end of the day, it's all about promises. It's all about them giving the people their agendas and what they promise people to do. Oh, mkinichagua nitafanya. But at the end of the day, they know at the back of their mind, hii ni campaign too. I'm only doing it, it's called PR. That's why you feel a lot of people are like in the world, ukiangalia sasa, not just in Kenya. A lot of people came into office, people like even Obama. They are sweet, they are very sweet and convincing words. Unasikia mtu anaongea mpaka unasema huyu nakina
lazima nimchague.
But at the end of the day, politics is, that is the way politics is.
So are you suggesting the Gen Zs wakwe tuzileza? We're just electing people just easy promises, they might take time. Should they have that in the back of their mind?
Yes. Chagua or elect somebody based on their character and their back, not just because they're giving you money, not just because they are prominent. Like there's one thing I've come to realize is funny here in our nation. People who have a lot of scandals, those are the people we go for. Wale watu wa vituko. People who do a lot of funny things, that is the kind of people we like to go for. Lakini for example, let me give an example of myself. Nikisema I want to be an MP or an MC or whatever. First people will ask utatupatia nini?
Yeah, it's true. That is the first thing we will ask. Yeah.
Because, and then there is also the issue of, like, we can say tribalism, which people, you know, politics is more most of it is more based on people watu wanachaguana based on tribe, not because of what somebody can perform or somebody can do. If you can change that, it can be good.
Yes. So let's we go for a short break, then we'll be back after this break, but continue talking to us on a social media platform that is on Facebook at Mizpah TV Kenya, hashtag #Nisifasato bonga na mimi, because today we are having amazing and great conversation, so make sure that umebonga na mimi. Stay tuned.
Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Psalm 100 verse 4. Sunday is a great day to give thanks and praises to our God. That is why Mizpah House of Prayer invites you for a Sunday worship service every Sunday from 9 a.m. A time of worship, prayer, and the prophetic word. Come for hope, fellowship, spiritual growth, and encouragement. We would love to have you. Join us in person or catch us live on Mizpah TV and our social media platforms. Tukutane Church.
Hello to you, asifiwe Yesu. I am Godwill Babeti. And to get my song, Mazungumzo, as your skiza tune, go to your phone and text the word skiza, then leave space, then the code 5707807 and send to 811 and you'll get it at only 1 shilling. Thank you. As your callers keep enjoying, may you enjoy it in Jesus' name.
Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Psalm 100 verse 4. Sunday is a great day to give thanks and praises to our God. That is why Mizpah House of Prayer invites you for a Sunday worship service every Sunday from 9 a.m. A time of worship, prayer, and the prophetic word. Come for hope, fellowship, spiritual growth, and encouragement. We would love to have you. Join us in person or catch us live on Mizpah TV and our social media platforms. Tukutane Church. Welcome to Mizpah House of Prayer, a space for all people and denominations, a house of prayer, fasting, worship, prophetic and pastoral guidance. We offer facilities such as prayer cells and resting rooms for short or extended stays. We're located in Bahati, Nakuru, just 14 kilometers from Nakuru town along the Nakuru-Nyahururu highway. Welcome. We cannot wait to host you. We are here for you, your family, the church, and the nation.
Karibu Dinari Sacco. Get a loan of up to 3 times your savings with low interest rates and flexible loan repayments. Register today as a chama, kama mwanabiashara, ama for personal savings. Application process ni rahisi tu. Tuma just 500 bob kwa Paybill number 4100513. Account number ni ID yako. Our products include Dinari Jinue, Dinari Mashinani, Dinari Pamoja, na Dinari Levitical. Call us now on 0746 365 690. Dinari Sacco. Save regularly, borrow wisely, and pay promptly.
Mizpah TV, keeping the fire of the altar burning.
Welcome back. This is Mazungumzo wazi, and this is why to na unleash all the bias. Let's mekuja na bias, guys. Today we're talking about the Gen Z era of what has been happening. We've seen the Gen Zs trying to change. That is the government. Let me say the corruption, the social inequality in the economy. The Gen Zs want things to be changed. Let me say the cry the Gen Zs they have this cry for change in our country and also in leadership. And I'm not alone. I'm back with our amazing guest, that is Reverend Omondi. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're so glad that you're still here with us.
Amen.
And today we have been talking about, this session we have been talking about that is the Gen Z era of what has been happening. And I saw something on social media that is the Gen Z wakitaka they're saying, actually this is something they said, they're occupying seats in 2024. Let's talk about leadership. The Gen Zs want to be part of leadership. What are the tips that you have for them so that maybe kifika that 2024, people will look at them and not address them just as Gen Zs. They'll address them as leaders. What are the tips that you have for them?
What I can tell them right now, for those who want to vie or feel like they want to engage in politics, register and go for it. Youth are full of talents, they're gifted, they know a lot. They're usually ignored because the millennials and those who are older feel that they are not young, they're still young, they're not exposed, they don't have the experience. But since you have the backing of your fellow youth and all that, if you feel you are not just feeling, as the youth usually say, if you believe in yourself, it's even in the Bible that anything is possible if you believe. There are few youths even back, there are few those of them who ventured into politics and they made it, not because they had money, but because they believed in themselves. They believe they can make a change. So at the end of the day, if you put God first and through prayers and you seek advice for those who are experienced and have what do you call it? Those who are experienced and those who can advise you on the right way to go, nothing is impossible.
You've mentioned something to do with prayers. Can you emphasize or expand a little bit on the relationship between prayers and leadership?
Prayers and leadership, they go together because even the Bible calls those politicians, even those who are not born, the Bible calls them ministers. And there's no leadership, the Bible still says, that does not come from God. So we cannot change anything through, they have already voiced, they given their voice. So the best thing they can do, when seek advice from spiritual leaders, at the same time, not just because of politics and or because you want change, but if you put God first and receive God as Christ as your Lord and Savior, then seek guidance and mentorship and instructions on how to go about things, then I believe when it comes to the following, the 2027, and because they are the majority and they are many, not just through speaking, but doing things practically, like registering to become voters and mobilizing your fellow youths. They do the same things in universities and other, they campaign and they make it. So everything is possible if you follow the right things, and things will work out. It's not too late.
Yeah, it's not too late.
Yes.
Let's talk about balancing expectations that the Gen Zs have and disappointments.
Yes.
I think that is hiyo ndio kitu inafanya wa react hivyo. What are the tips that you have for them on how they can balance that?
Well, at the end of the day, you can balance all these things by engaging people, the right channels. Like for example, they say when you have things in your heart and you feel frustrated, one way of getting things out of your heart, you know, at the end of the day, anger and frustration, they make people do crazy things because you feel you're not being heard, nobody is addressing, nobody is listening to you. It makes people commit suicide. It makes people do other things which are not good at the end of the day. It makes people do things which you regret. Sometimes it's too late. So you can balance all these things by being creative, by at least at the end of the day, if you can, apart from spending a lot of time on social media, try to be active in whatever, because at the end of the day, everybody is gifted in one way or another. Find a way of being creative, and I think it will help. It will help when it comes to that. Yes. Maybe according to you, do you think, give us your maybe let's say expectations for the future that is maybe let's say vision 2030 of the Gen Zs? The Gen Zs at the end of the day, they have a bright future. They can make it if they believe in themselves. They can make it if they engage and believe in the right people. They can make it when they engage in things like mentorship, being even in sports. You cannot make it in sports, even for those who have excelled. They didn't make it overnight. They went through training, they were mentored, they were instructed, they were advised, they were coached, and at the end of the day, things can work out. So instead of just doing the things that they do on social media, like they say, drawing those cartoons and all those things, let them at least use the right venues, and things will work out.
You've mentioned something to do with the cartoons.
Yes.
According to you, do you think that is the right way of expressing themselves? Should they continue, or should they stop?
Well, in my opinion, it's not working out, and they should at least let me say it's not working out, because at the end of the day, they say ng'ombe fahali zikipigana nyasi ndo zinaumia. They are putting their parents through a lot of stress, because you are expecting your teenager to come back in the evening at the end of the day, or you have to find them at home. And when they disappear, you don't know where they have gone to. Things are going the way they are doing, the things are happening. It gives you sleepless nights. So if those things are not working, as I have said before, I believe dialogue can work. They were invited to State House sometimes back. So when they voice let them voice what they feel like through dialogue. And apart from dialogue, 2027 is not far away. God willing, they will make it there. Let them register, let them vote for the people they feel they will bring change in their life. Because at the end of the day, the same people who are there 30, 20 years ago are the same people. Wanna change to chamas and all that, but sahi ukibadilisha mango, you not stop being Angie, because you are dressed in a different way. So if they can find a way of, let them register, let them engage the right people to direct them, and I believe if they want to be at the right place at the right time, all can be well and all things can work by doing things that are worth at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, unapata kwamba maandamano ilileta a lot of destruction, property, people died and all that. Hiyo ni hasara, already called part of the results of activism. But the things can still work if they do things the right way. Maana, I believe, vile nimesema before, they feel they are frustrated, they are not being heard, nothing is working out for them. Alafu at the end of it, all politicians wanawapea empty promises which have not been fulfilled at the end of the day. But it's for them to do things by 2027.
You have mentioned a few minutes ago something to do with mentorships. What makes you say that they need that mentorship, that the Gen Zs need to have mentors?
The Gen Zs need mentors because, let me put it like, there's one song which I heard it so many times. I was wondering what were people talking. Let me not mention it. Kuna, there is the most challenging stage in a youth's life, kitu inaitwa being a Gen Z, not just a Gen Z, but being a youth. When you are in your 20s or your early 30s, you feel you know everything. Lakini sometimes inaitwa msisimuko ya hormones. You feel like your parents sasa they know nothing. Ukiambiwa usifanye hii, you feel you know better. But sometimes ukiambia mtu acha hii, they know what is best for you. Like ukiambiwa na your parent, I don't want to see you walking with so and so. They have a reason for telling you that, because they were there, they were once youth. So they have matured. Like David says in the Bible, I was once a young man, I have grown old. So at the end of the day, when they engage those who have gone ahead of them, those who have more experience, zengine utapata kwamba itapunguza a lot of hii msisimuko ya, like I mentioned, peer pressure and doing things just because people are, you may be doing something because everybody is doing it, but it might not be productive or fruitful. But when you do things the way they're supposed to be done, when you go to do things the right way, it will work out.
When it comes to mentorship, what are the qualities of a good mentor? Could my fellow Gen Z be my mentor? Like, unajua mtu anaweza sema like Gen Zs can be mentors to themselves around that circles. What should you consider?
Your fellow Gen Z cannot be your mentor because they are inexperienced the same way you are. They lack experience, they lack some of this knowledge. So the best person who can be your mentor is somebody who, as even as the Bible puts it, you will know a good person by the fruits they are producing. The way people live in society. And if you want to know a good mentor, is somebody whose life is a good reflection right from the way they live in their home with their family, the way they interact with people in society. Look for somebody who is godly. Look for somebody who does not just give empty promises, but somebody who fulfills. Don't go for somebody to be, don't be mentored by somebody who just gives you money or telling you, I'll give you gifts and money and all that things. Go for somebody who is on the ground, somebody whose fruits you can see for yourself even. But your fellow Gen Z cannot be, because they are your age mate or they are in the same age group. So they are not mature enough to know some of these things that are necessary for you to walk in the right way.
And talking of mentors, lazima mentor kuwa millionaire jo, because there are people out there wanasema labda wanasema maybe this person should be a billionaire holding monies and trillions in their pocket.
Not really. Because not really, because I was speaking of some of them are not we don't know of many of them. A mentor, as long as somebody is doing things that are productive, as long as somebody is doing things that are creating a good example in society, does not necessarily mean they have to be millionaires or billionaires. We all want to be there. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody likes money. Everybody wants to live a life that. But what people don't realize, especially Gen Z, is that money is not the answer to everything. I've engaged with people who are so rich they have everything, but they don't have peace. The money cannot produce some of the other things that they really want in life. So money is not the solution to everything. We may envy some of them are musicians or wasanis or new movie idols or movie actors or whatever. But what sometimes we don't realize, the picture sometimes we give in public, it's called living a lie. The picture I give of the way things are in public is not a reflection of what the things are really on the ground. On social media, people want to give the impression that we are happy, everything is working out. Lakini mfuate kwake, utashangaa.
Utashtuka. And talking still of the same, there are Christian Gen Zs. I believe even the ones that are watching us, Christian Gen Zs out there. Could a Christian Gen Z have a mentor who is not a Christian?
It depends on the field you're pursuing. Yes, it depends on what you are after. Because if I want to be somebody, if I want to be mentored in a Christian way, then my mentor should be should be most likely, if I'm born again, my mentor should be my pastor. Because at the end of the day, apart from the preachings we hear on TV, you need to, there are questions you need to ask, there are other things you need to do that can help you. Yes, because if you are a Christian, you want to live a godly life, you want to emulate the life of your pastor, then kuna maswali or there are questions which you cannot ask on Sunday service. Kuna lazima mfuate umulize, how can I do this? How can things work out for me at the end of the day? It's better than just you cannot be unequally yoked, even according to the Bible. So if you want to be yoked it depends on which field you are pursuing. If it's politics, then be yoked with somebody who is not just they say talking a lot and doing nothing. But if it depends on which field you're pursuing, so it can work depending on what you are after.
But umesema that kuna hiyo point umesema depending on the field. Let me give you an example. Maybe there's a Gen Z out there who is watching us and he or she is a Christian, and maybe it's in the field of acting. Let me give an example with acting. Na kule mwenye kuna ule mwenye a person, the mentor mwenye na mentor is not a Christian. Is it okay?
Well, if that is your the field you're pursuing, it can still work, not just in acting but in other fields. So as I said, it depends on what you are after. You can still be an actor and still live a godly life. Depends on what also act or the things. So it can still work, not just in politics or in acting, but in all other fields that are out there. Things can work out if you are. When you at the end of the day, there is what we call self-discipline. The things that you do or the things that you can do without anybody pursuing you, the things that you can do without supervision, that they are what drives you. if you wake up in the morning having a hope for tomorrow that things can work out, because nikiishi maisha I just want to be like you copy pasting will not work for a lot of people, because live your own life. I may admire the way you live, I may want to be like you, but at the end of the day God has just destined a career or a path for each and everyone depending on the way you take life in yourself. If you believe things can work out for tomorrow, if you believe there'll be a better tomorrow, wewe mwenyewe, for example, I cannot tell you, unaweza ambia mtu I want you to change, but if you feel comfortable with the way you are, I'm just making noise.
Yeah, it's true.
But if you yourself ukikaa chini feel kwamba the path that I'm pursuing is not fruitful for me, I need to take a different. Change begins with somebody mwenye ameamua yeye mwenyewe I need to change. Si ile tu msisimuko ya pressure ya watu, but wewe mwenyewe ukirealize at the end of the day I need to be different. That is what drives me every day. Napendaga ile kwamba I want to be unique. As the Bible says, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I can do things in my own unique way. Wale watu ambao wamekuwa inventors in life hii miaka yote wenye create all these things that were there. If I may give an example of the person mwenye ali create the light bulb, he never gave up and he created the light bulb after the 900th attempt. After trying over 900 times, he never gave up. So ukiwa mtu ambaye una give up, you want instant results, unachoka haraka, you feel kwamba I need to do things because I'm under pressure and all that thing, it will be counterproductive.
Kindly elaborate that part here, self-discipline. The Gen Zs out there's something that is driving them, but they need this self-discipline. But maybe there's a person probably when I feel they don't have. What are the steps of, or what can tell you as an individual and self-disciplined?
First of all, when you wake up in the morning, you need to have a plan for what you're going to do. Usiamuke tu asubuhi usikie watu wanaenda mahali fulani wewe pia unaofuata, and that was not the aim of what you are supposed to do. Have a plan of what you expect or you want to do with your life, because whether we are in a crowd or whatever, at the end of the day destiny or the life ya kila mtu iko different.
Yeah, it's true.
So wewe mwenyewe discipline is what the things that you can do on your own bila kufuatiliwa kuambiwa fanya, because part of these things are being brought about by yani lack of motivation. You feel kwamba at the end of the day I'm just waking up in the morning ukijiulizaga what next. But if you have things may look bleak right now, but there is still hope if you feel kwamba you can do things differently, because of God is on our side. If you put God first in everything, people may frustrate you, but at the end of the day God listens to everyone.
Yeah, that's true. As we get to wind up, I would love you maybe to give 5 tips, 5 or 4 tips for the Gen Zs. Number 1, when it comes to them wanting to be in the leadership part. Number 2, on the way they're expressing themselves on social media. And number 3, when it comes to, let me say, understanding the government or embracing what the government is trying to bring on the table.
Okay. Number 1, if I may, let me say that they may not like what is going on in the political landscape right now. But we usually say that the government cannot please everyone individually. For example, if the government wants to bring some developments in this area, they will not come to each and everyone individually. They will do something that will benefit the majority of those who are in this area. So when it comes to things like abuse, and we need to, even the Bible is very clear on that in the book of Romans, we need to respect those who are in authority, whether it's our parents, whether it's our pastors, those who are in leadership. Respect, respect is something that you don't demand. Respect is something that you earn. It's like working. You can't go and demand money somewhere you have not worked over something that you have not done. So abuse and all this, we know they're frustrated. The job market is lacking jobs and all that thing and all that. But let them engage the government in a constructive way. And if the things are not working the way they expect, and already some of it is not working, as you can see the way things are going on, let them 2027, let them do something. Sasa kwa debe ndiamue who is going to be who in the next political landscape. Yes.
I love that. I believe wewe kama mpendwa mtazamaji, as a young person, as a Gen Z out there, when it comes to expressing yourself, when it comes to the world of leadership, and again, that thing that is being going on, that is on social media, at least you have a tip also on handling that is expectations, managing your expectations versus the results that you get. I believe that you have learned a lot. Thank you so much, sir, for availing yourself for the show. We look forward to having you on the show.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So we're going for a short break. Make sure that you stay tuned. This is Sifa Sato, your ultimate destination for epic trends, entertainment. The only show, again I say, the only show in studio, the only show in land, the biggest show in the land, the only place that you can get entertained, the only place that you get cool music, cool vibes. Daniel Wambia. After this break that we're going for, we're coming for another great session, a great and amazing session. Na leo tunafanya mambo kwa utofauti jamani, since we have a surprise for you there at Meet Your Artist. Make sure that you stay tuned for Meet Your Artist, because that is a great session that you get to hear from different artists who have been there on that same position that you're there as a young person. Maybe they have gone through what you've gone through and they have conquered. So stay tuned. This is Sifa Sato. We're going for a short break, then we'll come back with MYA. Stay tuned.